Hey Cachers, Derek here, Bake Six Clan. Today we're going to be finishing up the interview with Olaf, and we get into some really cool caches. You don't want to miss this. What is the cache that you are probably the most proud of?
You should know that I have a lot of hobbies, and one of my hobbies is also cooking. And the good thing is that my wife is happy that she doesn't need to cook, and I'm the one doing it. And after a great meal, I was lying on the sofa. I came up with the following ideas. You have 4, I call it in short term, POTIs, but I discovered by Tim that this is not an abbreviation which you are knowing in the States. So it's a resistor which is changing by turning, a potentiometer.
Right.
And in short, it's a POTI for me. So this one is called Crazy POTIs. There's an LCD screen where you can see for all 4 POTIs where it is turned to exactly now. And you can see where it has to turn to be. And you will see the set value.
Okay.
At this moment, this sounds not really interesting. Interesting is that by turning one POTI, you are changing the set points of some others. So this means on the screen you have a quite disaster. You are trying to turn this POTI to his set value, but at the same time, another POTI which you have already set to the set point is now going away from the set point. One POTI is infecting the set points of 3 others. 1 of 2 others, 1 of 1 other, and 1 is infecting nothing. So
okay.
The target of this cache is you need to discover by turning a POTI how many set points it's affecting, and then you need to start you need to find the one which is affecting 3 ones, and this one you have set first to its set value, then you have to find out which is the second one, and so on. So this idea, which flashed through my old brain, I think this is the one I'm most proud about.
That's really cool. I loved how that you came up with that concept to be able to put that into a smart cache. That is just phenomenal. So what is the latest cache that you've been working on?
Yeah, I think as I have already said, I have decided to stop building caches, but then it was something very different. I found something in the internet in an ESP group regarding a wireless LAN server. And when I looked to this, I said to myself, maybe this could be a great cache. So I will explain it to you.
Okay.
I said now the name more than 3 times. I think Arduinos are known by everyone. And an Arduino is an invention by Italians. And ESP8266 is something which is Chinese people, not cloned, but they invented it. They are more or less compatible to Arduinos, but they have at least already VLAN on board. And the newest one have also Bluetooth on board.
Okay.
And now the greatest thing is they have more features, but they are costing roughly about now I need to calculate. Let me say much less than $10. This cache, this last cache was what I have built. It's published, I think, roughly since 3 weeks. It's called Smart Power 2. The question is why? First, it's a smart cache. It's interacting again with the cacher.
Right.
The second thing is the cacher has to have 2 things with him. A 9-volt battery, because I'm loving the 9 volts, and a smartphone.
Okay.
And this is why it's Smart Power 2. So it's built into a birdhouse, which I have bought from Amazon, but inside there is another housing, which all I have designed and printed on my 3D printer. To make it short, what is happening? The cacher is going to the coordinates and he will discover the birdhouse. He can open the birdhouse. There's a first lock for the muggles, which can be opened when you are reading the listing. He will open the cache and he will find a QR code where it's written password : 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now really in words, this means in letters and not in figures, 192 dot 168.1.1. Nothing else. And from the listing he knows that he has now to power the cache by his battery. And in the hint is said, this QR code is not only telling you 2 things you really need to know, it should give you an idea what you have to do and what you have to do. You are in a forest. You have to go to your WLAN settings of your smartphones, expecting there is no WLAN, but by surprise there is one. And this one has exactly the geocaching, the geocaching code of this cache where he is just standing in front of it. So this means he has to connect to the WLAN and he has to use the password, which was told to him, 1, 2, 3, by the QR code. And then he has to open the browser inside his smartphone, and he has to go to the IP address, which was also stated by the QR code. And then he gets on his iPhone an internet page which is telling him, hey, hello, this is the name of this cache, why it's called Smart Power 2, and then a small puzzle is coming up, and he has to answer to it by pressing a button on his iPhone or on his smartphone. When he is wrong, he is told that he is wrong and he has to wait. If the next time he is wrong, he has to wait longer. And at the end, there are only 4 choices. And at the end, when he is right, a laser beam is pointing to a tree where the final cache is located. And again, it seems it's much appreciated because it has more than 60% favorites points at this moment.
I love that because you're incorporating so many different aspects of, from a QR code to your WLAN or Wi-Fi that you're having to use right there on the cache itself. You're using a web browser. There's so many things that's going on there, and I just absolutely love that. We'll have to talk more about that sometime, how you did that. But well, Olaf, I have really appreciated us getting together and talking, and I just really appreciate your insight and your willingness to come up with these caches, even though unfortunately sometimes they get muggled, and just your persistence of putting them out there and just having fun and always learning and talking with me, and hopefully a lot of the viewers of watching this video get some insight and really help them out with some of the stuff that you talked about. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
There you go, everybody. That was Olaf from Germany, and I hope you've really enjoyed the last 3 episodes of Behind the Cache, getting to hear from Olaf and hearing about these really, really cool smart caches. Now, I've said this before, I'm going to be using this as kind of a jumping off point because I'm going to start doing some smart cache builds right here on the channel, and that's coming up very soon. But I would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment down below. Are these the type of caches that you'd like to see and find? These smart caches? Hey, just leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. But don't go anywhere. Go check out another one of these videos just right over here and check out the story behind the cache.